Welcome to the Parlor, a weekly fireside chat about your favorite television programs. I am one of your hosts, Dane, and I also host the podcast Live and Active Pop Culture.
My name is Seth, also known as Moose2006. I run the YouTube channel, Moose2006 LP.
Today we continue our discussion of American Horror Story Roanoke with Chapter 5.
Chapter 5 was directed by Nelson Cragg, written by Akilah Cooper.
As usual, we're going to be spoiling, and there are tons and tons and tons of spoilers in this episode, tons of good scares. So if you haven't seen it yet, really make sure to go watch it before you listen to the episode.
Yeah, apparently this is the episode before the
big spoiler
reveal.
Yeah, we don't know what it's
whatever Murphy's got up his sleeve.
Yeah.
So okay. Great episode. Loved it.
This to me, all of the potential of the past, let's say 4 seasons, not season 1.
No.
Season 1 was,
great,
in my mind, perfect.
Scary, good. Yeah.
These last 4 seasons, every time it's we're going to have it, all the storylines are going to come together, and there's going to be, and it's look at all these cool threads. They're going to, this was it for me.
And then, yeah.
Everything came together in one amazing episode. Ooh. The direction was clear.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, all these loose ends that we had seen before have tied together. There are still more questions.
Oh, of course. There's still half
But
a season.
It's this is what I want from American Horror Story. Scary.
Yeah.
Invigorating, exciting to watch. Loved it.
Yeah, and we saw with
historical nudity. No, I'm just kidding.
Was there?
I mean, not really. He was.
There was an actual historian,
which I loved. Which I can't wait to talk about.
I can't wait to just completely, just rag on her. But
I think it was an actress.
No. She's real. She's a real historian in real life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why
that makes it even better.
No, that's why her performance was so terrible.
Well, I thought, okay, let's talk about her right now.
Okay.
I thought they hired an actress to play a historian and act it in that way, because it's if a historian comes on a ghost show, they're not going to be an amazing actress. They're not going to.
Oh, no, it's worse because she's an actual.
Are you sure of that?
She is a biographer. Yeah, I looked.
That's amazing.
I looked it up right away because her performance was it was just bad.
Well, of course, because she's not.
And so I was like, is this an actual historian?
See, that's where I was okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's a historian, author, and political commentator. Sorry. She has her PhD from Harvard University.
Perfect.
Her name is Doris Kearns Goodwin.
And
so yeah,
going on that, at least, okay, so what she was saying obviously was not true, right?
Well, no.
That was all written, of course.
Yeah, so that's why. She's trying to describe a history, but it's scripted for her, and it's not knowledge that she has just has.
Right.
I
could still see, on those shows when they pull in somebody, a historian, they will read off of cue cards still.
Yeah,
so they get everything.
That is true.
And that is what it felt like to me, and I was like, this is perfect.
Oh, gosh.
And thank God, if they're going for a real historian, they didn't get a real historian who's, also got an agent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She's just an actual historian.
I'm sure she has an agent.
Well, I don't. Maybe not.
She seems like a big deal.
Well,
but either way, she has a doctorate.
maybe a booking agent.
She has a doctorate from Harvard.
But
that's where Rory Gilmore went. No, wait, she went to Yale.
She went to Yale.
I apologize. That's where Richard.
How dare you? Yeah,
she wanted to go to Harvard for the first 5 seasons. Okay,
but she's a historian who doesn't have headshots in the background. She's trying to be an actress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's just a historian.
Yeah, I wonder
how they got hooked up with her.
The connection. I want to know if Ryan Murphy personally knows her or just someone.
Well, you know what? I wonder if he worked with her in researching the season and was like, "Look, we're looking for somebody to be a historian on the show. Why don't you come jump on board just for this one episode?"
Would he have had to do historical research in the trial? What trial did he do? Didn't you do
OJ?
Yeah, probably,
I don't think that.
I don't think she would have been.
But I mean, he could have been asking about, or I think
who knows?
Sense.
But
that's awesome.
It's great that they got a real historian. That is
I loved it.
Really fun.
That's great.
But the performance really took it out for me. But
sure, of course.
All
right,
it was great. Okay,
should we do the 60-second
recap
recap
we didn't
before we
do
go?
that. So Doris Kearns Goodwin, thanks for your performance.
Full disclosure, we're recording this in the evening,
mm-hmm.
so we don't have our usual onstage waters.
No, we don't have onstage waters.
We have onstage
always have
beverages.
an onstage water.
Yeah, well, always. But we have drinks tonight.
Oh, my water's
It's an
upstairs.
evening. It's an evening episode,
Yeah.
so we're enjoying a libation.
We're doing a 6 p.m. recording instead of a 9:30 a.m.
Yes,
recording. So
we're having a good time tonight.
So I have a Sam Adams if they want to sponsor this podcast.
And if I have the cheapest wine, a Barefoot Sauvignon Blanc that I'm
By
enjoying.
cheapest, he means the most refined.
Yeah, well,
If they want to sponsor this podcast.
yeah, sure.
All right.
The biggest bang for your buck.
There you go. I have a maple ale. Anyway, 60 seconds. Are you ready? This is a lot to do. I'll give you a minute. I'll give you 70 seconds.
This is going to be tough, but
Let me
okay.
give you 70 seconds tonight. This is a big one.
All right.
And go.
Okay, so we start with the historian who talks about the original owner and builder of the house that they're in. It turns out it's Edward Philippe Mott, who is predecessor to Dandy Mott, who we know. He is a strange person with social anxiety. He's gay in a time when that wouldn't have been largely acceptable. Some weird stuff goes down, and the butcher tries to kill everybody on his property except she does. He ends up killing
40?
all of his servants. God, I don't know.
You're at the intro still.
Matt and Shelby are in the house. They're trying to find a way out. He helps them. There's a
30?
crazy spider chick who steals.
Oh, we'll talk about that.
Who steals Flora? They get out through some tunnels. God, I don't.
20 seconds. Hillbillies get
The
them.
hillbillies get them when they're out in the woods. Francis Conroy's back, thank God. They eventually get away after some deliverance type of stuff, including cannibalism, and they end up in a hotel, as we predicted.
Yeah. Okay. So you had 6 seconds. You skipped a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was impossible. There's way
You
too
also
much.
panicked.
I
but-
did. I started freaking out.
All right. And so now that the summary's over, now we will. If you're new
Actually
to the
give a
show,
real-
we'll actually discuss things.
Yeah.
I really want to discuss the Spider Girl.
That scared the hell out of me.
That was the creepiest visual I've seen in a scary movie since probably The Conjuring had
It
the
was
clapping
very
scene.
yeah, because it was the way they obviously it was fake, but the way they shot it was the way it would actually look. Like, it looked very realistic.
Well, usually, okay, so I've been talking about this since episode 1 of Hotel, that usually when they show the monster or they show the thing,
Yes.
it's not as scary.
This time it was.
This time, they showed her full face right away. Still freaked me out.
Where did this come from?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't
this
understand if this is a real ghost.
I have a theory about this, but
Okay.
I want you to keep talking about what you think about
I
this.
do just
before
quickly want to say that I knew in that moment when it's kind of the end of the scene when she's sort of halfway up the doorway and just creepy crawling. I knew that was going to stick with me and haunt me
it's bothered you
for
since?
the remainder of that evening.
Yeah.
And it is that's when you know something is truly scary. Not just because we had the jump scare when she takes Flora, but for me at least, the creature, the way she moved, the way she looked, everything about her just stuck with me that night when I was in the dark hallways going to bed. And all that's
it was just lingering in your mind.
Genuinely a really creepy designed monster. So whoever did that was amazing.
And it's a connection to spiders. I mean, she moved like a spider, and we wondered if we would see some.
The preview
kind
had
of
a spider.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will tell you what creeped me out in the same way. All of the stuff with the hillbillies.
Oh,
That really concerned me. Specifically, and this is obviously a spoiler, when they smash Elias's face in. That was
and they showed it.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's
was tough.
It's like the Deliverance fear.
Yeah.
That movie's so creepy.
Well, it was so much Deliverance. Yeah, it was great.
Homage, you would think.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Kind of like that. They had a. I don't want to get too far away, but they did have a scene referencing The Shining.
Yeah,
At one point.
Well, and the Spider Girl sort of is a reference to The Grudge, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
The Ring, those
One of those.
Japanese horror films with the girl with the long
the
hair,
pale face.
Yeah,
and- yeah.
That felt like that to me.
But the movement, the way they made her move, was just terrifying to me. And I watched this at 5 p.m, so it wasn't a nighttime scary thing. But yeah, I'm curious to see. You had a theory about where she's from.
So, I'm kind of building this theory in my mind after this episode that Matt and Shelby, the real Matt and Shelby, are lying their asses off to this producer.
This would make sense.
Okay. And so, or it's like, I've got two ideas here. So one, that they're completely lying about all of this, and this is not what actually went down.
Or they're exaggerating.
They're exaggerating, or even like, because this is out of nowhere.
It is.
And it's like a Spider Woman attacked me.
Mm-hmm.
That almost feels like a dream or something weird. And I also want to point out that the name of the show is My Roanoke Nightmare.
Yeah.
And I hadn't necessarily
She also has a
made
nightmare at the end, but
she has a nightmare at the end.
we'll talk about, yeah.
Like, there's a couple of things that are starting to really seem fishy to me. Also fishy was the fact that Lee could drive the car after it had been burned by the colonial people.
Was that car burned? Are you sure is that one?
I saw both cars getting burned.
Was there 3 cars?
I don't
know.
think
I
so.
didn't even
Why
think
would there
about
be
it.
3?
I don't know. I just know the cop drove away.
Yeah.
Which we need to talk about as well.
But I'm starting to see, like, are there inconsistencies in this story? Like, could they be completely lying? And this is sort of supported by the tiny 10-second preview we got for next week.
Okay.
So, and we can talk about that. But I'm like wondering, are we looking at something that's completely fabricated at this point? Because it seems like insane. Like, really, like, if you think about it, there's a colonial ghost that let us out of the place, and there's a wood witch who Matt doesn't remember sleeping with, and there's this woman named the Butcher who's killing all of us. Like, it's just like adding up and adding up and adding up.
And what's their motive? Just to be,
maybe they did something wrong, and so they're lying about it.
Is that why they? Well,
it's part of their alibi to the cops or something crazy.
And I don't want to get too far off where we are now, but we've talked how the talking head, Matt and Shelby, don't emote.
This time they started to.
Yeah, there was an instance here where Shelby finally started crying, and I wanted to discuss later on in the episode what about this moment made her react, and not all the stuff with Flora.
Why don't we just go there right now?
Sure.
Because I felt like she cried when she talked about. She cried, I think, twice.
I caught it when Elias is like kind of begging for them to kill him. It's the hillbilly and the mama scene.
It's when stuff is happening to her. Like,
oh, that makes sense. And not Flora.
Yeah, but then I thought she cried or showed a lot of emotion or was fishy when she was talking about, like, I don't know why they would do. It was horrible to watch them do that to her. I can't believe they did that to her. And it almost seemed
to her. Who?
She was talking about Flora.
Oh,
when the settlers took her and didn't do anything to her.
Oh, that's
like
right.
They just held. They just took her, and then she was saying stuff like,
"I don't remember
horrible.
that." I feel like she was always very, like, straight-faced,
maybe
about all that.
But going in the same territory, I would say something weird is fishy about her story about Flora at that point, because she's like, they did that to her, they did something to Flora, but the show didn't show anything happening to Flora. She just got held by one of the like the mob, and then she ran away. So I don't know. I just feel like this is fully coming apart at the seams for me, but in a great way.
Oh yeah,
not in like the show.
Not like the
makes
shows,
no sense.
No, the show within the show is falling apart,
yes.
And that's which may be homage to like season 2 of American Horror Story.
It's so meta.
Wow,
he realizes that he put too much into
calling
it.
yourself out there.
That would be kind of hilarious if that's what it was.
Oh, Asylum. Why did you?
Remember when I had aliens in the show?
And
that
zombies
was a mistake.
And Nazis and anyway, anything else on that? I have several things we can continue on.
I also just felt like the thing about Matt and Shelby in this episode that was weird, and I wrote this down. I wrote down, why are Shelby and Matt so much more scared this time? Yeah. Like, this has happened to them like 10 times now. And this time they're like, "Wow, I was scared." And I was like, what? Like, why was this not scary before? Like, why was the mob that you've seen before not scary before, but now it's it was weird.
I think that's more the
just the show, like building it up.
The American Horror Story show.
Fair enough.
That's
but I was like,
I
mean, this is like, at this point, this should be expected.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've left this, you've refused to leave this house where you're literally being haunted and hunted
because of Flora.
Yeah.
And now they have Flora. Now they can go.
Yeah.
need to be able to.
I don't know. Yeah. This episode was so good, though. I mean, like, I don't take anything I'm saying as, like, criticism of the episode.
We loved this
more
episode.
criticism of the characters.
Yeah, no, we love this episode. We found out, just real quick, that the hillbillies have a deal with the butcher because they're growing cannabis, and Butcher kind of protects the land from everyone else. Just wanted to throw that story element in there.
They're growing cannabis, and they're cannibals.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Because
they eat Elias.
Ate part of Elias's leg.
And then served it to Shelby.
I apologize. I've got a little bit of
what is happening?
Cold. So.
Do we have a cough button?
No, well, we're fine. It should be fine.
All right. I'm going to back up a little bit.
Yeah.
So we have the Shining reference. We had all that. Okay, Mott. Should we talk about the Motts?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. This was good.
This was really good.
I really liked this.
We find out that the builder of this house was Dandy's like relative. Who knows? And, great grandfather, something like that.
Yep.
And they even mentioned that in kind of that opening scene that the last Mott died in Florida in 1952, which I assume is Dandy.
Yep, that's Dandy.
Yeah. So I thought that was really nice.
Although they didn't mention that he died in an insane way, which was being drowned in a freak show water tank in his underwear.
Yeah. No, they didn't mention
They didn't talk about that.
They just said he died.
Yeah.
But kind of like Dandy, Edward was sort of insane. Basically, he was in love with these paintings, and
I would say he was like, I don't know that he was insane.
He was like obsessive.
Yeah, it was more
that's why I said kind of. Like, he wasn't insane like Dandy was insane.
Yeah, Dandy was a sociopath, psychopath. This guy Edward just has some like mental illness, I would say. Like, probably, I don't, like, he's got this obsession with, probably like an obsessive disorder.
But the thing is, he would have let the people out of the cellar
if he wasn't dead.
If they wouldn't have killed him.
Like, I don't think he was not a murderer.
Yeah, it was a punishment. I don't think he was going to kill them.
Right,
so he's a lot different than Dandy. Turns out he's gay for what that matters. That's
I think
a Murphy thing.
I think it's it's definitely a theme in Ryan Murphy's things, and I think this is sort of the first season where we haven't seen anything like that yet, and that was kind of an interesting addition. And no less, he was gay with one of his slaves.
I'm not sure if they're slaves or servants. Yeah,
but that is sort of interesting. He did do a thing where at one point when he was like freaking out over the paintings, he did he was like jumping up and down, liar, 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 calling them all liars. That was like
he slapped
Dandy.
the woman. Yep.
Yes, that was like Dandy number one. Yep. So right there.
So with this character, we see him then again at the end, and I just want to talk about his motives.
Yeah.
Because he basically helps them leave. He helps Shelby and Matt and Flora escape the house through these like underground tunnels into the woods. Because he wants he wants to be solitary.
I think so. I don't think
he
wants
kind of
anybody
tries
in the house.
to explain it.
Yeah.
But then he just leaves them, and that's when they get picked up by the hillbillies. Do we think he was leading them to the hillbillies?
Unclear, because I felt like he was going to help them through until they started like asking too many questions. Did you get that sense?
Oh, okay.
When he let him out and they're like, "Where's the road? How far are we from here?" He's like, "There's no roads here, and I'm done. Bye. Like, I'm not dealing with you anymore. See ya." And probably he can't go much farther. Like, he's probably confined to a certain area as well. So
because he does cut their ropes at the end to let them escape.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't like we said. He's not a killer. I don't think.
Yeah, it was
his
like
motives are confusing.
It was the first time we saw that. Yeah, I guess Priscilla helped. I don't quite understand the ghosts yet, because then all of a sudden the butcher. If we want to go there now, we can. But the butcher's son all of a sudden turns on her, and I brought up last week when we find out that the kind of the ghost mob are all there because the butcher is forcing them, or kind of the druid, whichever one. And I brought up last week, like, why do they still do it? Like, why are they still killing? And we thought they were bound to.
Well, here's another inconsistency, because
now all of a sudden
the Wood Witch says they are, and by all accounts they probably are. Now they can rebel,
and now all of a sudden they do after 500 years. Now they decide
and
that this is too much,
and this is a contradiction in their own story that that Matt and Shelby are telling.
So you think it's a contradiction, like an intentional contradiction for Roanoke Nightmare.
Potentially.
Not just like a, what do I want to say? Just a conceit from American Horror Story to like help them escape.
I think it might be intentional.
Okay.
I think there's a couple of things like that where it's like maybe they didn't think about their story well enough, or their stories don't line up. And that's why. So if we're like sort of moving a little bit forward, but
sure.
In the preview we see for the next week, we see Cheyenne Jackson, the producer, going into a room, not the house, some modern area, saying to a camera crew, whatever you do, don't stop filming no matter what I do. And going in like he's about to confront someone about something. And I feel like this is like playing on this like sort of gotcha journalism. Like maybe these guys were exploiting this fake story to get money, and then the documentary went like a step further. It started out as a ghost story, but now it's like, oh, we uncovered something crazy about these people, and maybe they're the murderers or something. You know,
okay, yeah.
Like I think that. So maybe Matt and Shelby's stories didn't really line up, and then they started to kind of put things together. And I think the producers of the show within the show know that maybe this story that they're reenacting is not real.
And maybe that's why they keep questioning them on camera. It'd be interesting now in hindsight, knowing how this season has gone, to I wish I would have written down which talking head said which part of the story.
Because that's the other thing we don't know.
To see, because to me it's just like
we assume they're
show,
consistent, but
I haven't been paying attention on which one speaks. So, but we do know Lee is the one who gets emotional, so I would assume she's the most trustworthy.
I think so too. I think she's painted as this character who's the least trustworthy because she's a former drug addict. She's an alcoholic.
But
she's done some questionable things.
She like steals Flora, maybe.
But maybe not.
I
think she did.
That could have also just come from Matt and Shelby.
Well, but I think she talks about that in her own talking head. But I think like.
But also during this episode, when all of a sudden they're seeing like spider ghosts, that's when Lee's in custody and can't corroborate or not any of this. So,
and my other thought was like, did they my current working theory is that Flora is not alive
in this episode, or like now. I don't think so.
I don't think she's alive. And I'm wondering, like, if she were alive or something, maybe that was her account of what happened. Like,
I think if she was, she would be a talking head.
I think so too, but I think she might be. But if she is alive, like that seems like something a kid would have come up with. Like a spider lady got me.
That's true.
And it's like, what is this? So I don't know. There's many kind of crazy things. I feel like I'm rambling, but like this episode opened so many new like ideas for me. So
yep. Oh, okay. Backing way up, did you notice Ryan Murphy's shout out to our podcast?
No.
Oh yeah.
Did he say something?
He
about
definitely
Parlor?
Listens. Yeah.
Obviously. Why wouldn't he?
At one point, Edward Philip Mott in the beginning, he said I think he's talking about the paintings. He says, "Put these in the main parlor."
Oh, thank you so much, Ryan.
I'm pretty sure Peter Evans like looked at the camera and winked at that moment.
I'm pretty sure Ryan Murphy's listening.
So thanks, Murphy.
This is the number one podcast in America.
Yes.
For sure.
Oh yeah, there's our new advertising slogan. All right. Seriously though.
Yeah.
There's a really cool visual. This will be really quick.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Mott in the tunnels.
Yep.
And it was like this ghost.
It
whenever the
happens
torch
a couple times. Yeah.
Well, it kind of keeps flickering.
Yeah.
So basically, when the torch sort of covers his face like goes white like
there's
a
like
ghost.
A skeletal mask almost.
Yeah, it's a
cool.
really neat visual effect. But then it keeps flickering.
But it's so fast
and subtle.
Like it's not like, oh, look at this crazy mask I'm wearing, and then I turn around. It's just like so nice.
It is.
It adds to like, we've used the word tight to describe these episodes, and that adds to it. It's just like that is so. The detail there is just perfect.
It's subtle but detailed and perfect. Absolutely.
And it almost seems like somebody could say like his face looked like a skeleton in the certain lights or something, and then like they could I loved it.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I guess at the end of the episode, we are assuming Roanoke Nightmare, the documentary, is over,
or like what we know of it is over. I would say like the TV show version.
That's what I'm saying.
Is over.
That's Roanoke Nightmare, right?
Yeah.
Is the
Or-
TV show.
I would yes, or I would say like the episodes that are going to follow this formula are over.
Okay.
Because I think it could still be documentary
So
style,
Talking Heads are over.
but it's not going to be so produced like this.
It's going to be not dramatized, but
potentially
like,
raw footage sort
yeah,
of thing.
there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. I could see that.
So it's pretty clear that's what's happening. Is that this documentary or this talking head part is over. I like Shelby. One of her quotes at the end says, "I'm just grateful I will never have to see that god awful place again."
Obviously, she's going back.
Obviously, like a setup for you will be seeing that again.
Yep.
The nightmare. She has a nightmare of the butcher killing her in the motel room.
Yeah.
And she says she's not sure she'll ever get over it. That's kind of the end.
With the smoke coming out of the door, I thought that was good.
Yeah.
So speaking of hotel rooms, did you see any connections to hotel? Because I saw a couple actually.
Oh, did you?
I did.
The
yeah.
only one I got was
them going to
the
a hotel.
motel at the end.
So that one was obvious. So the one like big sort of we've been talking more about like not direct like connections, but correlations.
Usually
right?
pretty vague, but
Vague, but
there.
like echoes maybe is a good word for it.
Yeah.
So what I saw was we see a person in olden times with mental illness building a giant building. So and it specifically was Evan Peters building this house like it had to be perfect the way he wanted. So I was like, that's kind of a little bit of an echo. And then also he dies. Edward Mott dies by being pushed onto a spike. And do you remember that closet, that horrifying closet where people would get pushed into it and just die by being gouged by a spike?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that is kind of similar too. Like there were some connections to me. And like I said, they're just echoes. I don't know at this point.
Well, that plus the fact that they end up in a motel.
And the motel.
That was a big one. But yeah, no, there's just him building the building in the past and dying there and being a ghost there.
Mm-hmm. Kind
huge.
of felt, and like the ghost this time had a different attitude, or we think has a different attitude than...
He's not crazy.
Than Crazy from last season. I don't remember his name.
But he's based on the Chicago...
JBR something. We did something. We had an acronym for him. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But
Peter Evans.
That guy.
At least we didn't even say that, like mention that he's finally here.
Who?
Peter Evans.
Evan Peters.
I even wrote it down. No, I wrote Peter Evans.
That's wrong. That's incorrect.
That's
Peter Evans.
Peter Evans.
Peter Evans lives a couple doors down.
Evan Peters.
He owns a pet store.
Is finally here.
Also finally here, and I mentioned it, but Frances freaking Conroy is back as the character Mama. Like she was so creepy.
That whole family was...
Chaz Bono was one of the people.
Yes,
Did you notice that?
I noticed that in
early on,
episode 1.
Yeah, but great little cameo from Chaz Bono.
Mm-hmm.
Loved having her back, and she was so good in this role. And I hope that maybe if she's in any more episodes, it's like more.
That's it.
I don't want too much of this.
Yeah,
like I feel
true.
like she nailed it.
She did.
Just like killed it.
Yeah.
She looked so creepy and good, and she was great.
Yeah, that whole scene was really well done. Gosh, that covers a lot.
So can I be more specific about what I am predicting is going to happen here? So did you ever watch The Jinx?
No.
It was a documentary on HBO, and it was about Robert Durst, who is a murderer, and he was arrested immediately after the same day that the last episode of the show aired, because they had found footage of him confessing to the murders in the bathroom. Like he had his mic on in the background. He's like, "Of course you killed them. Like you killed them all." Spoilers for The Jinx if you haven't seen it. Sorry if you haven't, but
we gave a spoiler warning.
I mean,
all things can
not
be
for
spoiled.
The Jinx, but I feel like that's what's going to happen here. Like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to I feel like Matt and Shelby, probably Shelby, possibly killed Flora herself. And they're going to go...
maybe accidentally,
or she's covering it up. Or even she could be crazy. Like, she could have all kinds of weird stuff going on. And that's what they're going to go... They exploited this for, publicity and, money. And they're going to, do a gotcha on them in this next episode.
I could see that.
That's kind of what I'm
probably
hoping
the best
for.
theory.
I think it would be great. Like, I think it would be really fun, and then we can see the actors talking about it, and I don't know how they would be pulled into it, but I'm excited.
If that's what happens, this could potentially be a really great like rewatch season.
Oh, yes. I think it's going to be anyway.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we haven't had... This show is so twisty normally, and we haven't had any twists this season. It's been pretty straightforward.
It's just been like a good story so far. It's been really nice.
And the next few episodes, I think we're going to have a couple of major things come out.
Yeah, well, we know next episode is the
big episode that they've talked
I
about.
guess, so...
Yeah. Okay.
I have no theories.
I don't have any more theories, but I have a few stray observations.
Sure.
This is the stray observation corner.
Okay.
Right here.
I think I've already made all mine if I had.
I'm coming around on Kathy Bates' accent.
Okay.
Specifically because...
I'm going away from it. Every time she says blood...
Blood. I hate blood.
I get really offended for the Scots.
Although this time, here's what I'm loving. I'm realizing why I kind of like her in this role is because she's reminding me of Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
And they're like, thou dost come out tonight. Like, I just love... I'm like, throw in the three Sanderson sisters here.
Why is Sarah Jessica Parker not in this?
Why is she not just flying by
why
on
was
that
she
broom?
Not in Coven?
On that mop, excuse me. She flew on a mop.
Yes, she did.
The stuff with Elias was some of the more disturbing things I've ever seen. Like, that was crazy.
Missing limbs.
The missing limbs, like,
them
they're
to kill
eating
him.
the limbs,
They're
which
eating.
is crazy. And they're pissed about those kids, which I kind of forgot about those kids
Oh,
who
yeah.
were suckling that pig. That was weird. I don't know about that.
That means the kids were supposed to be suckling that pig.
Oh, yeah. That was their intent. Like, those people are messed up. Real messed up. Another hotel reference. When the ghosts, or when the butcher and the colonialists, and no, they're not colonialists. I guess they are. The Roanoke people attack Edward the first time. Another hotel reference. They pull the drapes of his 4-poster bed down on him. Did you notice that? And they held it, and he had to claw his way out. And that reminded me of the mattresses.
Oh, the mattresses.
Those were messed up.
Those could have been used a lot more.
Yeah, they could have used those more. I liked the 911 call. Like, that felt very true to a documentary. They had Matt calling 911, get over here, there's a mob outside of our house. I was like, that feels good for a documentary. I liked that. And then the other thing I thought is that nipple rouging is truly going to become one of the newest things.
That was hilarious.
I loved that. And somebody on the Reddit posted, and I don't have your username, but posted something about nipple rouging, and then it was Hedonism Bot from Futurama.
No.
First, let's rouge our nipples, and I thought it was great.
It just made those two characters seem super unique.
Yes,
I loved it.
I loved that.
It was
Those
a great
scenes,
comment.
those were great. Yeah.
Any other stray observations or predictions?
Well, we haven't seen hide nor hair of the nurses recently, so that could be something weird to add to it.
We also didn't see the druid.
We didn't see the druid this episode, and
which I was surprised she didn't show up at the end of Hell.
Just a flash of her would
or
have been
to
great.
keep them from escaping. But
yeah,
they just.
The other thing I thought was interesting was the idea. Now we've got almost a evil murderous pyramid scheme with the druid at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got the butcher.
Yep.
The butcher has the
hillbillies
under her control, and then it's a three.
And then maybe Shelby and
maybe they're doing something weird. I don't know. Anyway, any other things?
No.
Well, we got parlor mail.
Oh yeah, we do.
So let's talk about parlor mail. So this is from Mitch from Arizona, who
Thanks, Mitch.
happens to be my cousin, but
we won't mention that part.
We're going to ignore that part, but very glad you're listening.
Out.
Thank you so much, Mitch, for listening. He sent us an amazing email, some different ideas I just want to throw out here. Let me find. He gave so many good theories. I'm not going to read the whole email.
It was a lengthy email, yeah.
Yeah, it was great. He is clearly listening and enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
He liked the idea of after Roanoke Nightmare films that the same camera crew the producer, all the actors go in together, and then it turns into a Blair Witch type thing, which I could totally see.
I would like that.
I think that would be good. And that he thought that the actors, the butcher and the druid, would stay the same.
That's what I've been thinking.
But I don't know
they're
about
not going
that.
to get rid of Kathy Bates and
But
Lady
what
Gaga.
what if they're then actors? Like they're not getting rid of them off the show. I don't know. They got to get
maybe they'll get Sarah Jessica Parker.
I know. Couldn't it be some crazy superstar that they've kept totally secret?
Mm-hmm.
I could see it, honestly. I could honestly see it. He also had this interesting theory that I kind of enjoyed. He kind of like discounted himself, but I kind of agree, but it's kind of interesting. He thought maybe that the real Shelby and Matt are already dead and now are giving the story of their deaths because they are ghosts, and ghosts have become acceptable in the same way witches have. We both kind of said, maybe not, but I think it would be interesting. And he also is hoping, it seems like, for a reappearance of Connie Britton and Dylan McDermott from season 1 from Murder House. And we know they've shot some scenes at Murder House, so how that's going to tie in, who knows?
Going along with them being ghosts, there was a quote I pulled from Shelby in this episode, or not Shelby the talking head.
Okay.
It's when they were given to the butcher. And she made a quote that said something about how she had so many things I wanted to do with my life.
Yeah.
Our time was up.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounded like
there were a couple of times
final.
the way she spoke. I don't think that theory is crazy. I think it holds a little water.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good. And then he also commented on Sarah Paulson's blue contacts.
I didn't notice in this
episode.
episode.
I didn't notice either, and I was trying to pay attention, but it was so dark.
It was a
this
dark episode.
So it was hard to see.
I was also trying to pay
But
attention.
I will be keeping out an eye for that as well.
Yeah. Anything else from that parlor mail?
Oh, no. I think that's good. It was a great email.
Okay.
And keep listening, Mitch, because
Thank
it's
you, Mitch,
fun.
from Arizona. Go
And-
Cardinals.
Right.
I don't know.
Great.
Is that what you say to people in Arizona?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I think you say,
What?
man, it's
How
hot
about
down
that
there.
heat?
Yeah.
It's a dry heat.
Don't forget to wear
I think.
sunscreen.
All right.
Anyway.
Thanks, Mitch.
All right. Anything else?
Should we... I don't have anything else except I would like to tell people how to email us.
I think that would be a great thing
All
to
right.
do.
If you would like to send your own parlor mail, you can email us at theparlorpodcast@gmail.com.
And you can tweet us at the Parlor Pod.
Or you can go to our website, theparlorpodcast.com, and it has all our podcasts, all our information, all our contact info. There's a contact form, anything, all you ever want. Theparlorpodcast.com.
All of it. And on that note,
we'll see you back next week for Chapter 6, which is supposed to be the big reveal.
we're really excited.
Thank you for listening.
Whatever you do, don't stop rolling. Whatever you do.
What does that mean?
That's what they say in the preview. So
Oh, okay.
I'm going to show Seth the preview. 'cause
Oh,
he never
yeah,
watched
yeah.
them.
Okay.
But it's,
All right.
it's exciting.
I will watch it in just a minute.
All right.
Thanks for
We'll
listening out there.
And we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.